This is LTV.
Inside Leominster is brought to you in part through the generous support of N.P. Crowley Company Incorporated and by DeCarolis Insurance Agency Incorporated, DeCarolisinsuranceagency.com, and by Enterprise Bank. Enterprise Bank creates success. EnterpriseBanking.com.
Hello and welcome to Inside Leominster. My name is Dean Mazzarella, Mayor for the city, and yes, we're live this afternoon on this beautiful Thursday afternoon. Boy, the mornings have been really nice. They've been really, really nice. And today's just that perfect day. We're going to have another perfect day tomorrow. This will be the first Friday night it hasn't rained. Yeah. Tomorrow night. It'll be the first Friday night when I can't even remember how far back. Because we're back in the beginning of June was the Relay for Life. It rained then, and it's rained every single Friday night. So tomorrow night is the Flamingo Fest, 5 to 7, right downtown in the square. And it's not going to rain. And it's going to be a beautiful night. Come on down. We've got lots of things planned for you. But before that, let's head to the phones because Mr. Art is here from the Art Report.
Yes, he is. And first off, I have to compliment you and your guest, and I hope I say his name correctly. I shouldn't even try. Mr. Priority, Mr.
Proetti. Proetti.
Oh. He had such a wonderful recall of way back when in the city of Leominster. I mean, talk about a historian.
Yeah.
And he was sharp with his dictation. You know, he didn't hesitate. Wonderful recall. Wonderful. I have a hard time remember what I did 5 minutes ago.
I started to talk to him about his friends when he was in elementary school. And he remembered his friends from elementary school. Just incredible.
I can remember a few of them, but not many. He knew everybody in town, and I'm sure it's amazing.
He knew. If you asked him what was in a certain building downtown or some old building, he could tell you from the second he could remember it, 10 years old, 8 years old, all the way up until now. Everybody that was in that building.
That's amazing.
What a gift. That's a gift.
Yeah, somebody like that, it would be so nice if he was just sitting at the library or anywhere where there's a room with people and just listening to him talk. And you get a history lesson.
That's why I had
a history lesson.
That's why I had him on. It was in April, somewhere around end of April, and I said, I saw him somewhere, and they had a party for him, and I couldn't make it, and I said, let me see if I can get him to come on as a guest, and talk to his daughter, and his son got a hold of me, and they said, oh yeah, he'd love to, and so so I'm thrilled that it's a treasure to talk to that man, and thrilled that we were able to get an interview in. Didn't know that, less than a month and a half later, he wouldn't be here anymore, right? But man, he was sharp. Talked about World War II and what was going on in the community in World War II and some of his friends and who went where and who he bumped into and what happened when they all get out of the war or where they worked. Nobody's walking around with that knowledge. Nobody. So, and he's been a guest on before, prior. Did Art hang up on me? I guess Art hung up. Anyway, that was Art from the Art Report. And we do have guests today. Oh, what did I do with my book? Did I bring it in? Oh, did I bring it in? I might not have brought it in. Anyway, we're at Inside Leominster this afternoon, and we're live. And just want to remind you a couple things that are happening. Number one, tonight's concert is a go at Carter Park, 7 o'clock. It's a country band tonight, and you don't want to miss that. bring your lawn chairs, and you can park at St. Leo's and come across the street if you'd like. And then tomorrow night is Flamingo Fest from 5 to 7 o'clock. Remember, National Pink Flamingo Day started right here. This is where it was created, right here in Leominster, Mass. Now, technically it was last Thursday. It's okay. If you don't have it, don't worry about it. I might have left it in the car. I might not have thought in. Maybe this is Art back here. Art?
Yep.
Where'd you go?
So I don't know. I think somebody hit a pole somewhere.
I thought maybe you had to go stir the sauce or something. I wasn't sure what was going on.
You don't want I won't even attempt that. That's off the charts. But as I was talking about my grandson, he got his driver's permit, and I told him when he was old enough to walk, he was going to get my classic pickup with the flames and all that. So he's now at the point. So he starts. His dad's been taking him to big parking lot at the high school after hours.
Yep.
He's already been driving there, but now he's got his permit, so he can go out. And the fact that he got the permit, he drove home from it. And I said, good, get him tuned up.
Yeah.
And Friday, he's going with me to cruise night at Kimball's with the classic.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm jealous.
And,
I'm jealous.
Yeah, and it's going to be, his truck, and I'm looking forward to it and seeing him leave with it. And who'd have thunk it? Time flies so fast. It's amazing.
It sure is.
And I told him, I says, you got to keep doing what you're doing. And he just got his marking period again recently, and he got on a roll again.
Wow.
And they started football. They had meetings already and some wind sprint stuff. He's grown another inch. He's actually 6'1.5", 205, and he's playing tackle both sides.
Jeez.
And he's a good kid.
Yeah.
That makes it better, you know.
Yeah.
But anyway, thanks again for that show. I couldn't turn. I wouldn't leave the room. It was so interesting.
No, he's an interesting guy. You can be missed.
And a lot of the people he mentioned are names that are with the city. The Tossis, Pacusis, and even the Torcolettis. I mean, Sam was my late father-in-law, Selmo, was one of the founding first members of the club you talked about.
Yep.
Up at Lincoln Terrace.
Yeah, Saladini.
Yep. Well, that's all I got, and what a wonderful day, huh?
Yeah, beautiful. I wish I golfed.
Yeah, I've been straight out today. I just finished putting the laundry away.
Look at you.
You should see the folding.
I'm gonna get you an apron.
Yeah, that's all I need. That's all I need.
All right, Art.
Have a good one.
Arrivederci. All right, we are at 978-534-1626. That's 978-534-1626. Taking a short break. What are we going to see? We're going to see on the break.
Oh, we're going to see John.
John. All right, let's take a break. And this is a short clip, just some of what, thanks to Scott and LTV, they played yesterday and today. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. They played the exact interview that we did with John Proetti. So let's take a break, and we'll be right back. Let's talk about the Leominster amusement park, or whatever they call that, down off of Lancaster Street near the Babe Ruth field, all behind your house. It was actually a lake.
Oh, yeah. In fact, you see amusement. Where we're talking right now, I came down here probably when I was 7 or 8 years old, and this was the city playground.
This was?
This part right here.
Right here.
Marty Morin was in charge, and I remember coming down here. One of the things we did, they taught us how to box.
Really?
Right
here?
Yeah. Yeah. So I get a lot of memories of playing down here. We used to walk down. Back in those days, we walked every place.
Yeah, right.
We walked down here, right? Now, you just mentioned around Lincoln Terrace there, you had where the plastic place is now along the railroad tracks on Marguerite Avenue.
Solar Chemical.
That was Barney Doyle owned all that property.
Right.
He stored his plastics down there. But they also he had put in a baseball field.
Yes,
for
I
his
played there. Yep.
For employees and all that, right? Yeah.
So you must have walked downtown.
Walked every place. I used to walk up to Lake Samoset to go swimming.
Wow.
Right?
That's a haul.
Yeah.
Just follow the brook, I guess.
Yeah,
follow Fall Brook.
That's the way it was.
Fall Brook goes by your house.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
If you just follow it, eventually in about 5 hours, you'll be there.
Sea was red and the sky was gray. Wondered how tomorrow could ever follow today. Mountains and the canyons start to tremble and shake. Children of the sun begin to awake.
And wow, that was quick. And we're back. Yes, that was part of the summer stroll. Big success, lots of people. Another perfect day. It was a Saturday, a perfect day. Tonight will be perfect at the concert over at Carter Park. 7 o'clock. Remember, the Colonial Band starts theirs concerts on July 9th. They do theirs on Tuesdays. And if you're coming out, again, bring your chair, find a parking spot. And they start their concerts at 7:30. They have more musicians that come from, work, and it takes them a while to get there. And by the time they, get settled in, it's 7:30 at night. So those concerts start at 7:30. Colonial Band, who also will be performing at this year's Italian Fest coming up in August. So all of that is happening. We printed out the month of July, and it's a full 8.5 by 11 page, single spaced, of all the different events that will be happening here in the city of Leominster. And don't forget, if there's somebody watching it and there's something you're interested in, or maybe a grandchild or son or daughter, whatever, looking for something to do for the summer, just go to Leominster hyphen, that's a hyphen, that's what we called it in school, hyphen, MA, but some people call it a dash. So Leominster dash or Leominster-MA.gov, and you'll find out everything that's happening in the city. And also, It's Happening in Leominster did you sign up for that at all? It's Happening in Leominster is a Facebook page. It tells you everything. So there's nobody in there fighting about whether or not you should put pineapple on pizza. Nobody's there beating you up because nobody's asking for estimates for work on it. It's none of that. It's just whatever's happening in Leominster, right, Maria? You got that, Mia? Yeah, it's all what's happening in Leominster. I hope she signs up. All right. Oh, I don't have my book, so I'm going to have to wing this. I don't know where my book. I think I left it in my car. But John Hogue is here, and introduce yourself. I'm sorry.
Hi, I'm Shauna Neidigh. I'm Director of Development at North Star Family Services.
And they do a beautiful job. And so we were out not so long ago to do some groundbreaking. But speaking of groundbreaking, the first time I heard about North Star was Montechusett Interface Hospitality.
Yeah.
And I thought, what a really good idea. And it started off with churches, and they would take turns. And they would house families, try to provide some support services and meals. And then I think it got a little bit, we're putting people inside buildings that maybe didn't have fire, regulations. And then came the adaptation of North Star.
Yeah.
That was 23 years ago.
Was it really?
23 years ago now.
I think it's a brilliant idea.
And a true grassroots effort
Organic,
because it was a local person here who just started
Perfect.
it.
And there's, to me, in my 31 years and then 10 years as a cop, and being here all my life, I've really, if somebody used to ask me, what is the best formula for getting affordable housing or helping people get training for work, I would say it's this kind of, although I don't know that you could replicate it, but the model itself is one that gets people involved. It involves, obviously some grant writing and some funding, and that never ends. But it is I think, a perfect way to address a social problem that that isn't going to go away.
People helping people.
Yeah.
You know, it's really how Bonnie started
Wasn't that a
it.
song?
I'm sure it's many songs.
People. Come on, what was the song?
Something to talk about by Bonnie Raitt.
There you
Yeah,
go.
but not only that, but didn't Cher or somebody else do a song called People?
Well, Barbara did.
Barbara Streisand did it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, see?
See, I know you.
Trivia night.
There
You
you
can
go.
win something tonight.
Didn't know.
A cup of water or something. Look at how crystal clear that water is. All right, so tell us, that takes us to North Star. So let's
Yeah.
that's the ground, the sort of grassroots piece was the interface hospitality, and then it grew into what's North Star. So go ahead and explain to us the theory.
We
and the
really appreciate
concept.
you coming to the groundbreaking.
Yeah,
it was
we
great to
miss
see
it,
you. That
'cause
was
you told me to,
spectacular.
and I do whatever you
told
tell me
to.
to do. You know how many people later said, "You're right, John." Nobody says no to John because John doesn't take no for an answer.
He's got the nickname of Bulldog.
Yeah,
does it
Bulldog.
now?
I said, and so many people, I'm like, well, that's how you get things done, unfortunately.
Yeah, so true.
Hey, I gave you 6 years notice
I know.
of the groundbreaking.
Well, you know what? And I said this to Scott a little earlier because we have a meeting coming up. I said, if my brain isn't clear and I'm all over the place and there's so much happening, I don't like to meet with people when I can't 100% pay attention.
Sure.
And you've got all kinds of interruptions and things that are already maybe another meeting you just came out and your brain's moving.
Right.
And it's not fair, the people that you're engaging with. So when you have to call me back, it's okay. I don't mind. It just meant if I couldn't talk to you right away, I didn't answer right away, it's because I didn't want to have a conversation that I was half paying attention to.
Sure, absolutely.
And because I know when people aren't paying attention to me. So I feel like, well, I don't want to do that to somebody else. They're clearly thinking of something else. And I'm talking to them, they're not even looking at me. I don't know what they're thinking about.
They're
But you never know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you don't know what something might be going on.
Everybody's got something
Family
going
issue
on,
or
right?
something,
You know?
so they're not paying attention.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that groundbreaking was 2 months ago now, nearly, and so we've been making great progress on that. We're going to be another year or so, and then we'll have 15 more units of affordable housing here.
But tell us,
They're pouring the footings today.
Yeah.
Wow, how exciting. Tell us the concept, though, from how it shifted from interface hospitality into the North Star.
Well, we had our shelter operation that was in place for 13 years at that point, and we were approached by the community, various people, United Way, Community Foundation, yourself, city government and whatnot. How can we help more families? Because our formula was working. Okay.
And explain that formula for those that might
The
not
formula
understand
is
that formula.
taking the time with families, giving them their immediate needs, which is shelter when they're living in cars or under a tent or whatnot, and truly listening to what's going on for them. Most of the folks that come in the doors have a multitude of problems going on, or factors is what we call it, that has gotten them to being homeless. It's not just usually one thing. It's a whole bag full of things.
Credit problems, eviction,
Job,
out of it,
landlord,
Medical issues.
relational issues with their significant other, whatnot, But they find themselves where they are. And they're so deep in it, they can't pull out.
So you give them a place, that roof over the head, some stability,
Yep.
and
Food.
services.
Services, absolutely.
Yeah, the case manager works very hard with each of the family, and they're all individual needs. What works for one may not work for the next, and they have to really customize it for whatever the family is. But it includes health and medical, making sure that they're getting the medical care that they need. It includes financial literacy. A lot of financial literacy is probably one of the biggest things.
Yeah, it is.
Teaching people about credit repair and tenant rights and just having a budget and learning to eat healthfully on a budget.
We all assume that everyone sort of gets the concept of a budget.
No, you can't assume that.
Let's face it. We came from a time, at least John and I did, that
He's being nice to you.
that you either paid for it or our mothers would put something on layaway. And then you'd go down and pay $5 a week until you finally get, what it was that was on layaway. So credit was somebody that had a little store somewhere in the neighborhood, and they would put things on credit. And again, you'd come in when you get paid, you pay $5 on it. you probably paid forever, but you paid.
Yeah.
But there was no credit cards where you could run up thousands of dollars of debt.
Sure.
And let's face it, the marketing that is done towards people today, that you got to have this, you got to have that, and the kids and everything. So
Sure.
you can see how people can get in trouble.
My
You lose your
teenage-
job and you're in trouble.
My teenage son got a free credit card in the mail.
Yeah. Yeah.
How old is he?
18.
He got a
He
credit
gets a
card.
credit card right
Start
in the
'em
mail, and we're
early.
like, no, you don't need that.
Yeah,
early.
and try to explain to them that $100 and 20% interest on that is 20% of your outstanding balance. So it's 20 cents on every dollar every month.
Yeah,
And,
it adds
and
up.
it's like, well, yeah, but at least I got the 80 cents. Yeah, but someday you're gonna be paying on 10,000.
Sure.
Yeah, or they're paying $2 on an app and they think it's nothing, but then if it adds
Adds up.
up,
Right.
if it's like that a week or a month or
Right.
whatever it is.
Some of the marketing that's going on right now, let's say you need a pair of shoes and you really want this nice dressed pair of shoes. Well, they market it, it's only going to cost you $50 times 4 installments,
Right.
so that's $200 for
Right.
your pair of shoes.
Right.
But families will come in saying, I'm only paying $50 for my
Right.
shoes.
Right.
No, you're not.
No, you're paying 200.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
978-534-1626, and we're talking about North Star Family Services, and they do a great job. And so one of the issues, even before the whole housing crisis, was, and John, we talked about this at length, was the preparation of getting a family to the point where they've now got some, the counseling and the help they needed and stability in their life, and now they're ready to sort of fly the nest.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yet we were finding there's no place to send, there's no place to go. So they're ready to get an apartment, but just there isn't a place.
And they've worked really hard towards that goal of saving thousands of dollars for first, last, and security
Right.
deposit. Nowadays that's $6 or $7 grand.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
no joke. And they'd be ready to go. We're ready. We'd write a letter of support to
Right.
landlords, and we couldn't find a place.
Right.
Couldn't find a place. So
Then the next piece here, which started
this is
a
when
long
John
time
started
ago.
getting called crazy.
Right.
You know, let's build some.
Yeah.
Now, that's a tall order, becoming a housing developer, right? And we still consider ourselves a small
Dean, this is
nonprofit,
John.
you know?
What about that piece of land over here? That's this guy owns the
taken.
other side. Yeah. How about this other piece? No,
Yeah.
can't do that one.
Yeah.
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 It wouldn't have happened without him.
No,
There's
no, that's what I
way.
said. And people get behind him because they're like, yeah, this is the guy you send in. When it's time to knock the door down, this is the guy that goes in
Oh,
first.
that's the only way, because I could have turned away at any turn and say, this is too hard, because it was
Yeah.
impossible.
Right.
And that sort of was the challenge. This is impossible to do.
So tell us about the next step here.
So the next step is permanent housing for families that they can afford.
Right.
So we're currently building 15 new construction apartments, right in Leominster, very close to the shelter.
Public transportation.
Right down the corner. You got train right down the
Yeah,
street. You
perfect.
got the mall right
Yeah,
down the road.
everything's within walking distance.
Right, absolutely. So it's in a perfect spot, and it was a piece of land that had been there for a long time, and some had tried to use it, and it didn't quite work out, and it was just forgotten. It was a bunch of trees,
The development cost
Yeah.
was so significant just to run the road and the infrastructure in that it didn't make it doable to build something there.
That's right.
And then
That's
you
right.
came along, and that getting grants and working with state and agencies and putting all those little pieces together, kind
the
of like
community.
Mark Dolan has to do at Newview.
Yeah.
There's 17 pieces of this puzzle that all have to come together. It takes
Yeah.
time. So now you're going to have 15 units.
15 units, and there'll be a staff that's staffed there during the week that will help support families. Even though they're in permanent housing,
Right.
we want to keep them there. We want to help them stay
Retention.
there.
You
Right.
don't want to just send them off and say, okay, we've done everything we can so long. You've
No.
put a lot, you've invested
Safety
a lot.
net,
They
yeah.
have too. Now you want to make sure there's that retention.
Right.
That's
We don't
right.
Exactly.
forget
We
what-
we're still there for any resources that they still need to continue the independence.
How affordable will they be? Have you guys figured out on that
It's
just
going to
yet?
be some of the units are going to be 30% AMI. Some are going to be 50.
Right.
So that, you know,
So
it's gonna be-
30% of what you make.
of what you make, you
Right.
know, in your job, you know, and that's, people should be able to do
These
that.
are all brand new units.
Brand
Meet all
new.
the energy code and all of
Oh
that.
yeah, they're gonna be fully air conditioned. You know, it'll be you know, parking. So if people have a car, that they'll have a spot for parking. You know, because that was a big area of contention. Parking's always a big issue, right? You know, and people are like, well, these are families that they don't have cars, right?
Right.
I said, well, you know what? How do they get around? I mean, it's not like we have the tram here yet. You know what I mean? We'd love to have it. So they got to have a car unless they work at the mall. You know, so they might have one. Now, is it a brand new car? No, of course not. You know, but we got to have a spot.
Yeah.
You know, we don't want them parking on the street, right?
You know, many years ago, I would say 40, maybe more. I read this article, and it wasn't a big article. It was in the, you know, New York Times or something like that. And there was an agency, and they said, you know, we have spent so much money, billions, trying to help families. And a lot of the concepts just haven't worked. And they talked, and I would say that this lady's perception of what would work is pretty darn close to what Interfaith Hospitality and what North Star has done and said, unless it's a little more expensive to do this way, but the success rate is going to be a lot higher.
Yeah.
So instead of just sending somebody in and say, go to some finance management boot camp and spend a few hours, they're going to tell you, you know, that you know, if you buy 12 oranges, it's cheaper than buying 6.
Right.
Or if you go to Aldi's, you can get, you know, the fish or something on sale.
Sure.
It's more than that.
Yeah.
And so to dabble in this, just to have them fail and have to come back to the pro and then fail and then if you don't have that whole kind of arms wrapped around the family sort of concept, and boy was she right, because I haven't seen anything work like this. What do you figure? I mean, do you have a percentage that you can just throw up as to what you think the success rate is?
So we get asked that question a lot,
Yeah.
you know, and it's hard to
it's
numbers,
it's
right?
a guess.
So what I end up answering the question is, since I've been there, it's been 10 years now. I've been with North Star and Interfaith. We've only had 3 families come back saying, "Hey, I'm homeless again." Now, is that an exact science of percentages? No, but that tells me that people are making it and finding a way to
That's
get
pretty
by.
good. I mean, that's, and you can handle like 5, 6 families at a time.
5 at a time.
5. So that's a pretty good success rate.
Yeah, yeah.
And they can stay they have this time. And when else do you have time in your life to really, you're not having to pay for the essentials because that's being taken care of at the shelter, that they can save the money, they can learn all of this stuff, and the average stay is 6 months or so, maybe 8 sometimes depending on the circumstances that they have to learn all the skills and then to transfer that to wherever they go next.
Well, and to save that.
And save the money.
That money. It
The
takes
first,
forever
last security that is needed.
It's a jump start.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Caller, welcome to the show.
Hey, Dino.
Hey, Crystal's here. How's Crystal?
How are you?
It's been busy, I can tell you that. I don't know. I was anticipating that after the budget passed, everything would sort of gradually slow down, but it hasn't happened yet. So, but it's all good, as they say. It's all. Mark, I got to stop down and see Mark at Hannaford. Mark's a good man.
He really did this. He's been talking to you before you ever turn his college stuff.
Yeah, no, we're trying to find a place we're going to hold a wrestling match. We're going to see if John Hogue will come in and wrestle Scott or something.
So we're doing bingo night at Hannaford tonight.
Bingo?
Yeah.
Is this you guys playing for cash?
I don't know.
Ah.
It's a little office.
Well, if you're playing for cash and you win, we're splitting.
Okay.
All
Talk to you
right.
later, buddy.
Bye. There you go, huh? Yes. So that's. I mean, what a wonderful thing to be able to help
exciting.
families.
Yeah.
And you have a great board of directors and a lot of support in the community.
It's going to be a resource for this area for a long, long time.
And we need. Somebody was telling me the other day what newer apartments are going for. I mean, they're over $2,200, $2,300. And I said, well, that's kind of a lot. And the developer said, I know, but you know what my costs were to build this?
Yeah.
You know, they were saying that their cost, I forget what it was $6 or 2x4 or something went to, or something that they use frequently,
Yeah.
went from $6 to like 18.
Yeah.
It's come down
Yeah.
now, and then it went back up, and it's come back down.
During
stable
COVID,
now. Yeah.
Yeah.
it jumped to
everything,
craziness.
Right, and it said some things have come down, some things have stabilized, but it's still, you got to do, you know,
Yeah.
you saw the work that went into, you know, just getting the site ready. And it's a lot of
amazing.
work, and there's new regulations all the time to conform to, so it's a tough thing to do. So if somebody wants to volunteer, maybe somebody wants to make a donation, maybe they want to volunteer,
Yeah.
maybe they're interested in an apartment or whatever, or where do they call, or
They can find us online. That's an easy way. They also can call the main number, which is 978-466-1704.
Our website is northstarfs.org.
nice job.
Yeah.
Thank you for what you do, and your board of directors, and your volunteers, and the people that contribute, and United Way, and all of those that really make it happen. And I'm convinced that this is the way to do it. I mean, I've seen so
I
many
am
different
too.
models, and they're not successful. Although what happens is no one wants to admit it, because now there's, you know, paid staff and
Yeah.
money coming from
a lot of money.
endowments, and nobody wants to say, time out, it's not working, but this really is.
It's a full program, not just a place to sleep. It really is
it's a full
transformative.
program. And what's beautiful about Journey Home, once it gets finished, is it's going to still have an umbilical cord to the shelter.
Right.
So all that support that's up there can come in
Right.
if need be. They can go up
Yep.
there. You
It's all
know, the trainings that we do for
Yeah.
families, we'll be able to offer there too. You know, so it's going to be a win-win for both programs in the end.
Well, thank you both.
Yeah,
Coming
appreciate
in
it.
and
Yeah.
staying with us. We're going to take a short break, and we're coming back at 978-534-1626. And if you have any questions, instead of just watching, you can call and say, you know what happens as soon as I leave here? I start getting texts and messages and emails. I didn't want to go on air, but I wanted to ask you a question. No, just call. You could talk to Mia back there. You can talk to one of them back there, and they'll say, yeah, it's me. Who's this? Yeah, I can't tell you. Okay. You got a question? Yeah, I want to know. I want to know what's going on at Water Tower Plaza. Okay, I'll tell you. I'll tell you. And the good part is, if you're asking the question, more than likely someone else is out.
Sure.
Yeah, Mayor, did you see the eagle over? I'm like, I don't know. You know what? Everybody tells me later that they had a bear at their house.
Right.
Or an
Right.
eagle. I saw an eagle. Every morning I see an eagle. Why don't you tell me sooner? I would like to go
Like
see
to
him.
see it.
You know, like
Exactly.
I'll pull up and like, hey, Mr. Bear, can you hang around for a little
Right,
while?
right.
We'll chat a little and
Yeah.
talk about how your week was and how can we keep tearing. The raccoons keep tearing apart my mother's bird
Yeah.
feeder. We bought a really good bird feeder, the best. You can't buy one better. Got the thing set up, perfect. Takes care of the squirrels, the birds. We saw birds I've never seen. You had to go to Florida to see these birds, at, like Animal Kingdom. I couldn't believe there were actually birds. And birds are fussy, apparently. Certain birds only eat certain things. And like the raccoons showed up, 3 of them.
Ugh.
And systematically, and the next thing you know, my brother says, it's gone. I said, what do you mean it's gone? Where did this bird feeder go? And he said, I don't know. I said, well, go look out in the woods. Sure than heck, it was out in the woods.
Wow.
These raccoons.
That's amazing.
They're on the list.
Yeah.
They're on the list. Leave my bird feeder alone. Now I'm gonna have to build like a tower of some sort.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, they
There's a
say,
lot of strategies. They tell you to grease the pole.
yeah. Grease
or
the pole.
whatever,
That's just
you
what
know.
I need. Is greasing
Right.
the pole. All right, we're not going to grease any poles right now, but we're taking a short break, and we'll be right back because we've got what's hopping, what's popping. And last week I did pretty good, right? You want to tell everybody that I get a B plus maybe or a B? Yeah, she just says it. Yeah. They're always trying to
She's
trick
not
me.
listening.
All right, we'll be back.
So for the past 16 months, we've been working hard to really change, reimagine services across Massachusetts. I'm proud that with respect to the veteran homes, we secured the federal financing to build a brand new home in Holyoke. And if anyone's been to Holyoke in the past couple of months, things are ahead of schedule. It's a $500 million project. I'm proud that in Chelsea, if anyone's been to Chelsea, the new building's up. We actually expedited the construction of that to make sure we can get that completed by early 2024. Construction was built, veterans have moved in, It got DPH license, all the certifications. That was part of the legislature that our colleagues put forward here. And things are going great there. We installed new leadership and are revamping, reorganizing, restructuring how we go about providing veterans the care they need. Because for decades, they were not DPH licensed. They didn't have to follow the rules with Medicaid. So we are bringing a certain level of structure, expertise, and increasing the quality of life for veterans at those both homes. And we're also expanding them. Chelsea's going to be 154 veterans. Holyoke's going to be 254 when that's completed in a couple of years. And in addition to that, we've said, we can do more with respect to geographic equity. Now, if you look at Holyoke and Chelsea, the vast majority of those veterans live around there. But what does that mean for a place like Leominster, or Clinton, or Fitchburg, right? Or what about the South Shore or the South Coast? So we've started looking at potential other places across the Commonwealth where we can invest in, maybe not as big as a home as in Chelsea and Holyoke, but somewhere we can support our veterans. So I've been pretty busy with the homes, but there's so many things to talk about with what we're doing. I just want to highlight a couple of those things. One of which is the HERO Act, which arguably will be the broadest, most comprehensive veterans piece of legislation that I can't even. For a long time, I thought the 2005 Romney bill was the most comprehensive. But if you look at this bill, particularly with the additions that both the House and both the Senate just put forward last week, this bill, should it move forward, should it get to the governor's desk, and if she signs it, will be the broadest, most comprehensive veterans bill done in the Commonwealth, and I can't tell you how long. I'm excited about it because it's about inclusivity, it's about increasing services, it's about supporting our veterans and making sure that they're getting the care that they need.
And we're back here, kids. Yes, we are. Let's see, 978-534-1626. And just 21 minutes left. Yep. What shall we do next? We can do, let's do What's Poppin'. This shows us the generational connection between all of us and Generation Z. What's Poppin' by LTV's residents, Gen Z staff. All right, here we go. Daniel Radcliffe's Stereophonic, The Outsiders, wins big at the Tony Awards. I don't know if I was surprised by that.
Do you know what Stereophonic is?
Yes.
It's a musical, but they're claiming it's a play.
That's the problem. I don't know that was in the right category.
It's not. But the music's really good.
The music's really good, but there's so many different categories for the Tonys.
Yeah.
And the Emmys and for the music awards and all that, that I guess we're going to start. What do you guys think back there? Yes, no? Should it have been included? Daniel Radcliffe?
Daniel Radcliffe deserved to win. He's been snubbed twice before.
I realize that, but still.
Is a musical not a play?
So
no, not always. So like when they did West Side Story, West Side Story was done as a movie, but then later became a play. You know what I mean? So it's almost like if they took Blue Man Group or something like that and made it into a movie versus the play.
Yeah, Stereophonic was originally a concept of the behind the scenes of Fleetwood Mac and Rumors.
Right.
And they couldn't get the rights to that.
Right.
So they got one of the guys from Arcade Fire to write basically this music, but then they're saying it's a play because the songs don't tell a story like in a musical. Right. They're just songs. Right. But what about jukebox musicals?
Well, yeah. Well, the jury is out. Yeah. And you know, there was a local lady. I'm trying to think who her last name was because my phone died on me, but I'll get it for next week. And she was a news person and won the equivalent of an Emmy and I'll get that information. Maybe we'll even get her to call in.
Oh, a Pulitzer? Did she win a Pulitzer?
No, it wasn't a Pulitzer.
Okay.
But Kevin Costner, I saw that. So before anybody knew, he was posting on social media that he was done. Yeah. Yeah, I saw that. I'm like, well, did you tell your boss? You know, did you give I wonder if Kevin Costner goes in to the staff at Yellowstone and says, hey, I want to give you my 2 weeks or 2 months or whatever, right? And this gets back to what I was saying last week about what happens is like when they came back from Schitt's Creek and they came back from they came back from Big Bang Theory and they come back for the final season and they say, you know what? I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore.
It's a contract thing.
And then they got to squish the whole season. You know what I mean? And I don't like that because I feel rushed, especially if I know they're not going to do it. I'm like, I can already see how this is going to end. They're going to like squeeze in like 6 series that they had planned out. They're going to squeeze into one. And that's what's going to happen with Yellowstone. Anyway, June 26th, Inside Out 2 exceeds Dune 2 as 2024's biggest movie.
Yep.
Yeah, you think?
I mean, Pixar hasn't had a hit in almost 4 years.
No,
so
Pixar did the Don Featherstone Romeo and Juliet movie.
that was a subsidiary. That was Blue Sky, which is part of Disney.
Yeah, it's owned by Disney. Pixar is owned by Disney.
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, I guess listen. It's like venture capitalists.
Yeah.
They're investing in 20 different things, or like the pharmaceutical business with life science. They got 5 or 6 to 10 things going. One of them's going to pop, and when it does, it'll be big.
Also, there's more kids than there are like 20-somethings who are going to see
And
Dune.
they can, with AI, they can translate this into every language that's ever been spoken. All right, today, 5-time gold medalist Thompson, is it Hera, out of Olympics due to Achilles injury. So there was a lot of talk about whether or not be out for good, or it was just the. So a lot of sports athletes get Achilles heel or Achilles injury, and it takes a long time to heal. Is that what I hear it just last week? One of the guys playing the professional baseball, and they were like, "We're not sure it'll be back for the season," but Olympics. I said it before, and you guys agree you're going to watch the Olympics, right? Or some of it.
Yeah.
I'm kind of excited for the Olympics, and you don't have to watch it anymore. And you never really did have. There were a few segments that are live, and the rest of it is taped. What do you got? Yes. Look at you communicating. Look at Mia. You're coming out of that shell. She's now communicating by caveman. She's writing messages inside the cave. All right, let's go. So. Fun facts, nearly 85% of Instagram audience is younger than 45 years old. I would say that's probably, well, if they dropped it down to 35 years old, I'd say that makes more sense. But I'm sure that's the case. I don't know that people over 45 have figured out, or people over 50 have really figured out just what is Instagram? Like, what's the big deal about Instagram?
My aunts use Instagram.
All right. But one big thing, what do you think is the biggest benefit of Instagram?
They like thinking it's like a photo album.
All right. No complaining.
True.
Or less complaining.
Yeah.
Right? But lots of pictures on food. Yes. Look at that. What does it say? I can't read it.
They are on Facebook.
Right. And the kids used to be on Facebook until they found out their parents were on Facebook, and then they said, "We're out of here. Swipe right. Swipe right for good. We're out of here." No, but Instagram is more pictures, right? It's more pictures.
And video.
It's not Instagram. I mean, it's not Snapchat.
Yeah.
It's I'm on vacation and this is what I'm having for supper, which I'm really not interested in. Unless somebody's saying, hey, I'm going to bring you some of this or something, right? But yes, I see the value of Instagram, and I do believe it's a younger, 45 and younger. So 85% of people on Instagram are 45, younger than 45. Instagram users are split evenly by gender. Yeah, because people post a lot of sports on Instagram. So yeah, and let's see. The United States has the second largest regional audience, with India having the largest audience globally. Yeah, maybe they just don't have as many people complaining. The top 3 social media platforms for younger people are Facebook. I thought younger people didn't do Facebook. Instagram and then YouTube. So YouTube has made a big, with YouTube video channels.
Yeah.
It's the Reels, right? It's
That's one of
Facebook
them.
is Reels, but they've like I notice a lot of radio personalities or TV are running YouTube.
Yeah.
You don't need a cable, you don't need an antenna.
Nope.
And people from around the world. So, Mia, just for my own. So on Facebook, there's a section that you can hit called Live. And it's people that are on live, like I do my morning briefings live. And all over the world, is there anything similar anywhere else where you can pick your phone up and go live from anywhere in the world? YouTube.
Yeah.
That's it. Now, are we putting everything on YouTube? Right? All our stuff is going on YouTube. So it then becomes, it then becomes sort of international.
Yes.
Right? What did she say? Mia says
Discord. That's another social media
What is it
platform.
called?
Discord.
I need to know that. I'll save it for me when you leave. I just want to check it out. I know there's a couple new ones, actually. And so Facebook is the top one, 87%. Instagram at 72. Yeah, where's the one on, what's the percentage of Generation Z that uses Snapchat? Because stock has been down on Snapchat. I don't know the lore of it anymore. It disappears, right? It disappears, so that was the lore of it. I guess you can take pictures.
Vine was really big for a time and that disappeared.
Yeah, so maybe it's just becoming insignificant. All right, let's go to the next one. By the way, if you have any questions on anything, 978-534-1626. You'd be surprised how many people watch this segment. I'm amazed, yes. Let's see, 40% of the world's active social media users use Instagram daily. I have to say, I don't use it enough. I need to be schooled in how I can better use it. But a lot of my posts automatically from Facebook go right over to Instagram.
Yeah,
right?
if it's synced.
47% of millennials use Instagram as a messaging app. I didn't know you could use it as a messaging app. Like person to person?
Yep.
Huh. 40% of Generation Z is using TikTok and Instagram for search. Didn't I tell you guys a few weeks ago?
Yes, you
I
did.
said younger people were using TikTok as their search engine. Thank you. Let me just pat myself on the shoulder. All right, next slide. It's all for the gram. More than 33 million active monthly users on Instagram are Zoomers. Zoomers are platforms like Instagram to actively seek out new brands more than any other generation of consumers. One study found that the majority of Generation Zers prefer to see branded content on Instagram than any other platform. Nearly 70% of the users have Instagram for entertainment and scrolling. Now, I would agree. I think the pictures are better on. Like, I don't get attention deficit disorder when I'm looking through. You know what I'm saying? When I'm looking through Instagram, I look and I pay attention. There isn't this like appetite to start swiping around and other things start popping up on top, on the side. Instagram is kind of like you focus. If you don't like it, you'd swipe out of it. But if you like it, you tend to spend more time, right? I think. Like TikTok, you get 2 minutes and you're done, right? Yeah. So, 2 minutes, 30 seconds in front of the microwave when you're waiting for something to heat up is a long time. All right. What else do we got? You guys did a very thorough job this week.
Threads versus X.
How many kids does Elon Musk have?
A lot.
12? I say 12.
I think he has the same amount as Nick Cannon, so I'm going to go with 12 also.
12. We say 12. Anybody want to look it up? How many kids does Elon Musk have? After Elon Musk acquired Twitter, frequent technical issues and policy changes, many users have expressed desire for an alternative platform. As a result, Threads was created by the Instagram team to allow users to share text, use updates, and join public conversations. I don't know. I still get a lot of tweets. Yeah. People still use Twitter. News agencies, they can tweet stuff out.
Yeah, but individuals switched over to Threads. That's it. 12.
12. I knew it was close. Didn't he just have another one? Is that all with the same wife?
No.
he's got several wives, or at least more than one. But he's got 12 kids. He can afford it. All right, so that makes sense. I mean, that, you know, when Twitter got taken over, but it seems to do all right, Twitter. I don't know what the stock is on it, but it seems to do all right. Next slide, please. The word of the week is DM. DM me. Direct message me. Right?
Yep.
Thank you. DMs, direct message, an app messaging feature of Instagram that allows users to share and privately exchange text, phone calls, reels, and posts with one or more people. So here's my issue, with 7 minutes left here. Here's my issue. What, no food this week?
No.
Oh. Here's my issue. There's too many places where people message you. So you can get a message, you can get a text, you can get an email, you can get a messenger. But the problem is remembering where they communicated with you. How did they reach out to you? So sometimes I'm running around. I try to take a screenshot, but you can't screenshot everything. So I spend a good deal of time backtrack. So it's like having 6 mailboxes around your house, and the mail person comes and leaves something. The next person comes and leaves something. And I don't feel, I think there's an app that will integrate those so that you go to one place and check them, but I'm not sure about that.
Do you know the latest trend now for communication?
Yeah, not answering messages.
That's one of them. The other one is if you don't want to have a phone call with someone, you'll write a voice memo instead of texting it out.
I always do that.
Okay.
Yeah,
And you
I
send
do
it.
voice to text or voice memos and send them out.
But it's like a phone call. It's a one-sided phone call. Yeah.
It's one-sided. And it shows up like a phone. So it's like Mia not wanting to talk to me, but she wanted to leave me a message. She's just like, so what that says to me is the person doesn't want to talk to me. But they always say, yeah, I'm really tied up now. I'm really like busy. Or I'm driving down the street. And what it says to me is the person doesn't want to talk to me. That's fine. All right. We've got 6 minutes and 10 seconds left here. Let's do photos of the week. So our Generation Zers, what I'm finding out is that Generation Z, a big part of their life is communicating with the people that they're interested in communicating with. So there are different categories on communication. So in other words, me as best friend, right, would get a different mechanism, a different tool, versus me, who it's business. It's you know, don't forget to roll your windows up in your car.
Yeah.
Or you know, I'm running a little late for the show. There's no other interaction. You know what I'm saying? But people like answer the phone when it's somebody they want to talk to. If it's somebody they want to talk to, they're saying it's the phone. So I think generation, it's like AI. Are you guys using AI for anything? Book reports, you know, things. You're not using, but artificial intelligence is absolutely incredible. Now, Musk said it's very dangerous. He said it's more dangerous. I don't want to quote him, but I'm paraphrasing. He said something to the extent that it's more dangerous than nuclear missiles ending up in the wrong hands. Now, AI, from what I understand, will, so let's say there's something wrong with you, and you head to the hospital, and they do all the diagnostic stuff. They do an ultrasound, they do an EKG, they do a CAT scan, a contrast, they do nuclear, they do, I don't know, they do it all, right? They do blood tests, and they get your, they've got your genetic makeup. And so it's all going to get fed in, and then basically you'll get a printout, and it'll say this is what's wrong with you, kind of like your InstaChat, your med chat. What do they call it? Your medical chart.
Yeah,
my chart. And you'll get it. It'll say this is what we did, this is what we found, and this is how we're going to address the situation. And that's incredible. Now there's still going to be people in the business, but it's going to help. It's going to help them to do their jobs. It's going to be a tool. Just like there's robot-assisted operations now, people going for surgery and say, a robot operated on me. It was robot-assisted with the doctor, and they'll add artificial intelligence to that. And I think the outcome will be better, or at least
Well, do you
hopefully.
remember the movie Gattaca?
Yeah, Gattaca.
That's
It's a
what that
perfect
was.
example.
Yeah.
All right, let's do photos of the week because we have 3 minutes, 34 seconds left here. At Inside Leominster, we're here every Thursday night. All right, here's the new numbers. 794 people were tested in the last 7 days, and In Leominster, it's 3, 5 deaths, 1 is too many. Check this out. I bet they don't know one of these songs or one of these days. Helen Keller Day, Micro and Medium-Sized Enterprise Day, National Bingo Day, National Handshake Day, National Ice Cream Cake Day, National Onion Day, National Sunglasses Day, and National Work From Home Day. And here are the songs. Let's see if we got the songs on here tonight. 1962, Ross Perot begins electronic data systems. Imagine that, back in 62. 1967, the world's first ATM was installed in London. 1972, legendary video game and home computer Atari was founded. 1981, Betty Davis Eyes by Kim Carnes. Those Betty Davis Eyes. 1999, Tony Hawk is the first skateboarder to land a 900. 2003, the United States National Do Not Call Registry is formed, and they're still calling. 2017, Mark Zuckerberg announces Facebook has reached 2 billion monthly users. It's well over that now. All right, let's skip to the next slide. Just a matter of time here, just so we can get at everything. Next slide, pictures of the week, please. Hey, look who we had a visit from. Next week, the 6th. The 6th is the day for the Leominster, Fitchburg, and Gardner will be all there, and we'll be watching the games, the Woo Sox. We're wooing the Woo Sox. Anyway, they made a visit yesterday, and we stopped in to see all the FEMA employees. Remember, FEMA's going to be at City Hall till the 15th. Their hours are now till 3 o'clock on Saturdays, but I think 6 every other day, 9 to 6. Next slide, please. Habitat for Humanity, what a great picture. They do wonderful things. They opened their office. Their office now is on Park Street in Leominster, upstairs from Subway. And some nice office space I might add. Fall Brook Treatment Plant clarifies filter boxes and mixed tank being sandblasted, painted, and restored. And you know, the old days, you just let these things run out until they were absolutely no good at all. Not anymore. We really maintain them and keep them up. It's just too costly to do it any other way. Light replacements. We're going to be putting in new lights for the fields at Doyle Field. And what other crew, city crew, can do this kind of work? Ours. They put these poles together, they install them, they do everything, soup to nuts. We do hire a crane operator, but other than that, we take care of it all ourselves. It's amazing. Next slide, please. Fournia looking good. We just did all the, sprayed all the courts over there and all the other courts around the city, like Doyle and Southeast, etc. Next slide. Orchard Hill extension is almost done. It's a whole new road up there, and it opens up all this land for commercial, industrial, offices, high tech, medical, and they did a nice job. It looks great up there. Dual field tennis courts, again, looking good. Also pickleball. Next slide. Pink Flamingo Day, 1 day away. Tonight is the concert over at Carter Park, 7 o'clock. Tomorrow night, 5 to 7, Pink Flamingo Day. It's National Pink Flamingo Day, 5 to 7, and in honor of the Featherstones. So we'll see you there tomorrow. There you go. We're out of time here inside Leominster. Thanks for watching. Oh, look at all the beautiful flowers. Happy summer. Is that the last slide? Yeah. All right. So we're out of time here inside Leominster. Thanks for watching. Thanks to the whole crew here. And remember, the world is run by those who show up. Please show up. Good night.
Inside Leominster is brought to you in part through the generous support of N.P. Crowley Company Incorporated and by DeCarolis Insurance Agency Incorporated, DeCarolisInsuranceAgency.com, and by Enterprise Bank. Enterprise Bank, create success, enterprisebanking.com.
This is LTV.